Simpson, you'll move the minutes. Yep. Second those. All those in favour?
Point of order.
Yes.
Chair, just before you do that, can I just ask, with respect to the debate that we will have at one, I raised a point of order under Standing Order 2.4.6. With respect to the debate that we will have at 1 o'clock, can I understand how we will address that debate? Will the debate be limited only to the matters that are set out in the agenda, or will the debate allow for a consideration of the information which is set out in RFA's first quarter report? The reason why I ask that, Chair, is that we had this matter on the agenda for the Wednesday 14 November meeting. We didn't have RFA available at, well, I understand that you didn't require them to be there. There was no opportunity to examine RFA on its quarterly performance or the assumptions and forward assumptions that are set out in the quarterly report. I believe that a number of the matters that are contained in that quarterly report are germane to the debate that we will have later today, and I would like to know how it is that you intend to address that debate so as to provide for appropriate consideration of the quarterly report, because we did not do so last week.
So no, we won't be discussing that. We won't be discussing RFA. There's a few little errors in that that report, which is number 12. One of them is actually called Update on Speedway Relocation. The report actually should be called Colindale Park. So it's an error on our part, but it's been published. So that's what we're going to talk about, and RFA have nothing to do with Colindale Park. So on November 29, RFA will be coming to the Council for the annual plan to make a presentation on their stadium strategy, which will be involving their decisions and representations on cricket in Eastern Springs. And let me just finish this off, because someone else is going to ask the next question, is then on December the 11th, the Finance Committee, I've asked if it's possible to have another an update confidential report, and it'll be in confidential again, about Eden Park, so you'll get an update on the Eden Park loan situation. We don't need to keep that confidential, everyone knows that, but also any discussions with government, so you're going to get updates on both those. Right, so we have the declarations of interest. There was none.
The hands are going up. Well, she was first.
Yep, but I didn't hear any point. There's a point of order, and I've overruled it. So I'm going on to the confirmation of the minutes. We've done that. No, we've got that. Oh, so mover and a second.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, point of order. Listen to.
Chair, can I just get clarification under, with respect to item 12. Item 12 addresses Colindale Park, but it addresses it in the context of the MOU. The MOU has a number of signatories to it, including Regional Facilities Auckland. Will they be present to answer questions in relation to the MOU, business which was undertaken by RFA and by others during the previously? So these are matters that I would imagine we should be able to have an appropriate examination of those issues in the preparation of the MOU, including the figures set out. So I would expect that RFA will be present to answer questions on that matter.
Sorry, what's your point of order, Councillor?
My point of order is that with respect to Standing Order 2.4.6, there is a requirement by some of us to be able to have present the CCO, which is responsible.
Okay, I'm getting advice here that that's not a point of order, so I'm going to overrule you. Is there any other points of order? Councillor Casey.
No, I have a question of the chair. Is that okay?
No, because I'm trying to get through to the religious public input.
It's to do with your response to Councillor Newman. I seek clarification on what you've just said. Can I ask that? Because I didn't understand it.
Yep, that's okay.
Thank you. You said something about a confidential meeting where the Eden Park loan would be discussed. Are we actually talking about the future of Eden Park, or are we talking about the loan again?
On December the 11th, we're talking about both those items. Yep.
Okay. And can I ask then why we are discussing today the relocation of Western Springs Speedway?
Not.
Is it not the cart and the horse? Should we not be doing the
Yep,
Eden
councillor,
Park
councillor,
discussion
let me,
first?
this is the final
It's a
thing on it.
question.
We are talking about the activation of Colindale. Right? That's
We're
what we're
talking
talking
about Speedway. You can dress it up any way you like. It's
Yep.
part of the
The
bigger
Speedway is
debate
part of it,
on
and
all the
that's-
council facilities.
And well, you know, we
Mr.
can make
Chairman.
progress or not make progress. Any further questions?
Mr.
Councillor?
Chairman,
Fletcher.
I require clarification, and I do not want to be disrespectful of your role as chair. But is there not an interrelatedness to all of these issues? Is that not going to be, is there going to be an opportunity where the issues can be viewed as the large jigsaw puzzle that they are by taking all the, sorry, I can't hear. If you take all of the pieces apart and then try and put them together in isolation, I guess
Point
I'm
of order.
imploring on
Point
your
of order.
sense of fairness, Mr. Chairman, that we make quality
Point of order.
decisions when we have
Point of
all
order.
of the
Point of order.
information.
Point of order. Mr Chairman, I understand we have an item that the members are speaking to at the minute, but we're not up to that item.
Yep.
And
no,
so I'm just speaking to the relevance at the point where we're actually going to get to that in an item, that this discussion could be had there.
Yep, I think you'll find I'm going to be fairly flexible when we get to item number 12 at 1 o'clock, but if we want to make it difficult at this
Mr.
stage.
Chairman, I wasn't able to complete. I was speaking in support of having the appropriate officers present, so if there is information that is being sought, as a courtesy, they can be given time to be at the meeting. I don't want to find when at 1 o'clock we asked if we could have advice from certain parties and they're not available. And that was really behind, I understand, Councillor Newman's question.
I believe there will be some representatives of RFA at the meeting at 1 o'clock. So we are to the confirmation of minutes. We have a move and a second. All those in favour?
Excuse me, I want to speak to it, Mr Chair.
The minutes? Yep.
When I look at the minutes, I don't think it's a true and correct record because at the time, Councillor Sayers said he was on council business and that's not reflected in these minutes. So I thought that the minutes had to be a true and correct record of what happened at the meeting. And I know distinctly that Councillor Sayers put on council business and now that's not there.
I thought
So I
this-
couldn't vote for this being a true and correct record.
Yeah, I thought this was the meeting where we'd got a change to it.
I checked it
A
yesterday,
correction, yep.
but you can't correct it when it's already happened. It has to be a true and correct record of what happened at the meeting. So I'd like a ruling on that, please.
Wait a minute, I thought
Can't
that-
change it afterwards
No, no,
if
no,
that's not what happened.
but I thought he then came, I thought that was a previous meeting and this was the meeting
No, I
that
checked the
corrected it.
dates,
Okay,
the
well, sorry,
7th of the 14th, of November?
you're catching me here.
14th? Oh, 14th of November, was that the previous? So you're saying, oh, okay, I may be mistaken, that must have been the October meeting and I didn't get the opportunity to then correct
Yeah.
the October meeting. That's all right, my mistake.
That's all right, no problem. So, right, we've
Do those minutes
almost
are
got through confirmation of minutes. All those in favour?
Aye.
Right, very good. Right, there